Hi, greetings to you all once again. I am here to bring you more points lesser known about home birth. I am Easy Divine, spiritualist, musician, wife, mother, home birther, homeschooler, and just want to assist in making that home birth just a little bit easier for some of you whom don't really consider the things that happen after the home birth. So I have my notes right here, and I just got a letter from a sis, and she said she's waiting. It's her 8th month. Her baby's 8 months now, and she's about to register a home birth that didn't have any midwife or prenatal care or anything like that, and it can be difficult to do, especially the longer you wait. The longer you wait to register a home birth, the harder that it is, because really they want the proof. You're bringing the baby to the appointment, and it helps if the baby looks like you, but what if you're like a sis of mine whom said it was really hard for her to register her home birth because her baby really didn't look anything like her. Her baby was very, very fair skinned, and they were like, you know, she said she really had a hard time. So, shout out to that sis. So, basically, it can be difficult, and I know that a lot of us are doctors in our own home, but I'll give you 2 good reasons why it could benefit you to even go to emergency, and just for a sniffle. I mean, it doesn't even matter. Even if you don't have a pediatrician or anything. So first of all, they're going to want umpteen proofs of your home birth. They're going to want witnesses. They're going to want your witnesses to be present with proper identification. They're going to want proof of residency, of wherever you had your birth. They're going to want either the person's house that you had the birth at, proof that they live there and themselves, or yourself and proof of your residency at the time of the birth. If you had care with a midwife, that's cool. They're going to want her medical license number, or whomever your medical care professional was. They're going to want their medical license number and a letter from them if they cannot show up themselves. They're going to want any type of record of any medical visit. If you don't have that, they're going to want some type of hardcore proof. And so the second reason, I know I discussed this stuff in a prior video, and I'll get to the second reason in a second, but the sis that I was talking to earlier through, email, she was explaining to me that she had such a hard time because she didn't have any type of medical visit or, proof of a doctor. No EMTs came. Her baby's never been to the doctor. They don't do immunizations, none of that kind of stuff. And so in that case, you kind of want to use the system to your advantage. You want to use them for what you need them for. And so that would mean take your baby to get weighed. It doesn't matter. I mean, the baby doesn't necessarily have to be sick. You can just go get some type of documentation that you've been seeing. You know what I mean? By some type of medical care professional. And it will really, really work in your favor. And even if you could just do that 2 times. Oh, my baby doesn't feel good. Go to the emergency room. And yeah, you know, pick a day where it's not crowded. You know what I mean? And just sit in there and go ahead and be seen and have that on document so that you can bring that in as proof when you get ready to do your birth certificate. Now, the second reason that I just now discovered again, because I had forgotten with my first home birth, that you know, when you're in the hospital, all of these things happen automatically. But when you're getting ready to do your social security card, dun dun dun, that's another one of those things that we forgot about. We didn't really consider to have to do by ourselves. I mean, when you're having a baby in the hospital, all of this birth certificate and even social security card is done automatically. But I ran into an obstacle when, okay, I was like, ooh, I got the birth certificate covered. You know what I mean? I was like, I got the EMT, I got the video, I got the this and that. Oh, and let me run it back real quick. Don't make it difficult for yourself. I was saying, oh, okay, well, I got the EMT. They came to the birth. They said, okay, we'll get the report of that. And I said, oh, okay. And I also have, what did I say I also have? I also have, oh, I went to Altabates. And yeah, they, because I thought I was low, I was feeling kind of faint, and I thought I might have blood clots in my legs or whatever was the reason. It wasn't for the baby at all, but they were like, oh, we'll bring proof of that too. Well, and I said, well, I got the video too, you know, I got proof. And they was like, oh, we'll bring that too. Well, see, the thing is, you don't want to start making more stuff for yourself to have to do, because they want you to bring it all. I mean, they want you to bring as much proof as possible. So make it easy on yourself. Don't start volunteering information. If you have something you know is solid, they don't know what happened. You know, only you know what happened. So I didn't want to have to do all this running around back and forth, going out to Bates and trying to get proof for them, and going over here and trying to get proof for them. And you know, I really didn't want to have to do all that. So basically, don't make it harder on yourself than it has to be. Just stick to your script, basically. So anyway, with the social security card, so after I thought that I had all of this stuff figured out and I was smooth sailing, I went down to the social security office to get the social security card. And they said, well, you need 2 forms of ID for your baby. And I said, huh? You know, what do you mean 2 forms of ID for my baby? Here's the birth certificate right here. And they said, well, you need 2 forms of ID. Do you have an immunization card? And I said, well, we don't do immunizations. And they said, well, do you have a Medi-Cal card? And I said, well, I can't get a Medi-Cal card without a social security card and a birth certificate. And it just becomes a whole nother set of issues. So luckily, or I mean, fortunately, unfortunately, my baby had an emergency visit at Altabates Hospital, and I was able to use the fact that she visited Altabates, because she never really has gone to the pediatrician, or you know, I didn't really want to have to go hunting down the pediatrician and waiting, because really in my particular situation, since I'm such a last minute person sometimes, I didn't have that kind of time, you know, to be running back and forth, you know, trying to track down the pediatrician and wait for them to mail me some type of proof, or I didn't have the ride to go do, you know, it just was too much. And I was like frustrated, and luckily I had that bill. I'm laughing because anyway, that bill ain't gonna get paid. But anyway, I had the bill that they had sent me from emergency. Luckily, I had that bill with her name on it, and that served as a proof from some higher authority that she was existed, you know, some other proof that she had been seen somewhere, since I didn't do immunization, or I don't have a medical card, or, you know, if my family, I guess, had some type of other coverage besides government Medi-Cal or whatever, then, you know, it wouldn't have been such a big deal. But basically, I was able to use that. So that's something that we really don't consider or think about when we're getting ready to, I mean, you're like, oh, I'm happy and I have my baby and it's all good and it's no trip, but it could be a trip. It could really be a trip sometimes, you know. And then some of these places are rude, you know. It takes a long time for you to get an appointment to do the birth certificate, depending on the county that you're in. And some of the people are rude because they deal with, another one of my sisters experienced the rudeness, and they deal with people all the time that come in there and they don't have their together, and they have to make another appointment. And I guess the people have forgotten that they're dealing with people who just had a baby, people who just had a home birth, people who have gone from a pleasant and peaceful experience, you know, to well, why you ain't got what we want you to have, and why did you have a home birth anyway, and who told you to be unassisted, and it just, you didn't just gone all the way against the grain, and they do not like it. Now, some places are a lot nicer, and so you just have to be prepared to face those things. And the more prepared you are, the more you can be calm, cool, and collected, and just be like, I have such and such, and yes, you know. So watch out for that social security card, okay? Watch out for that. They're going to ask you for 2 forms of identification for your child, okay? So come in there with some type of bill. Even if you don't have a pediatrician yet, go to any emergency room and make something up. I'm sorry to have to say, make something up for your baby. Let them be checked out. I don't care if they just take the baby temperature, you know, and blood pressure or whatever, even their vitals, okay? You can leave. Just let them take their vitals and be like, you know what? We want to leave. You know what I mean? Sign us out, you know, whatever. But just don't leave before you get the documentation, you know. So anyhow, I think that's about all that I have to update you guys on. Woo! That's about all that I have to update you guys on right now. And I appreciate you listening once again. And I hope that this was informative and helpful, and I'm glad that the ancestors have let us know that they're here. and they approve. So anyhow, let me know, you know, feel free to email me or write or leave me a message if you guys need to know anything else. I'll be happy to answer what I know of. Alright? So peace and bliss and much love.